This position can give you different denotations, different results from your expectations. Even unreal expectations may come by if you know how to be able to combine the energies of the 9th house lord when it gets into the nakshatras or different planets. Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from your very own channel Astro Assurance. Today we will be talking about how the placement of the 9th house lord in different nakshatras will give you different results. Now mind you, remember that the 9th house is the biggest house of gains and will give you gains which may sometimes not be even to your expectations, beyond your expectations as well. However, the 9th house is also about combining the learning, and this learning is not only about your qualifications, your academic qualifications, but also your day-to-day life experiences, situational experiences, learning from them and then adding value to results or gains that you can get. So when you are looking at the 9th house lord placed in different nakshatras, keep in mind that if you are hesitant to use the academic qualifications or the learning that you have got from a school or college, but not combining it with the life's learning, the life's experiential learning, then those kind of gains which the 9th house can give you, the 9th house lord can give you, may not come by to you. So let's jump in and see how the different denotations of the 9th house lord, when it gets into different nakshatras, will turn out different permutations, combination and results for you. Now when the 9th house lord gets into the nakshatras ruled by the sun ruled nakshatras have the fire sign energies and the earth sign energies, because one pada of the sun ruled nakshatras is in the fire sign and 3 padas are in the earth sign. So it combines the results of passion, confidence, independence that the fire sign energies represent, and the steadiness, practicality, the humility and the detail orientation of the earth sign energies as well. So when the 9th house lord gets into the nakshatras of the sun, so here it combines with the passionate fire sign energies as well as the steadiness of the earth sign energies, combined with the responsibility oriented, the authority oriented, the leadership oriented results of the sun rule denotations as well. So when the 9th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Kritika, where 1 pada is in the Aries sign and 3 padas in the Taurus sign, so here the person will be somebody who will be very goal oriented because of 1 pada being in the Aries sign energies. However, the person will also be very materialistic in how they will be able to get the results. So in their learning, in their qualifications, they will be very goal oriented, but they will choose that learning which is more practical, which will also help them to be able to achieve their goals, not only those goals which they want to achieve in the professional front, but also from the materialistic, the financial results as well. So this is a person who is very passionate in their learning, is somebody who will also put in a lot of effort, even a lot of assertiveness to be able to get the learning that they want, and they will do that learning with a lot of conviction, and they will not hesitate to take action when they want to do a certain degree, they want to do a certain qualification. They will go all out to be able to get that qualification and also chase the materialism, the financial appeal that, or the financial results that the nakshatra, the Kritika nakshatra may come across and put forth. And because it is the Kritika nakshatra, these people will also develop a sort of critical side to them when they are looking at how to be able to use their learning to be able to turn around an industry. So they will acquire the learning and they will use the ability of the Kritika nakshatra to be able to find faults or to be able to find improvements in a certain industry going forward as well. Now when the 9th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Uttara Phalguni, where 1 pada is in the Leo sign and 3 padas are in the Virgo sign. So here the double whammy of 1 being in the sun rule nakshatra and 1 pada being in the Leo sign. So there is a lot of responsibility accountability that the person will take towards his or her learning, towards his or her ability to be able to imbibe learning, get the education qualification and to get the results. So this person may start out as somebody who wants to learn and be able to be taking and be responsible for their learning to be able to serve, because 3 padas are in the Virgo sign. So this is the placement of a lot of ambition going behind how the person will be able to use their learning to serve others. This person can also go long distances to be able to get their learning, to be able to get the education qualification. And usually these people are large-hearted in how they serve people, and also they are able to use their ability to lead from the front to be able to use the education qualification for all out help at a larger societal level also. So these people are very caring, very sincere, but sometimes they come across also a little stubborn in the approach. Now when the 9th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Uttarashada, where 1 pada is in the Sagittarius sign and 3 padas are in the Capricorn sign. So this is a person who has a lot of liberal approach to learning, will not hesitate to even take up those degrees, those qualifications where others may shy away. In fact, this person is looking for something new, something which can be path breaking, and use that to be able to then use that learning to be able to give back to society. Because while 1 pada is in the Sagittarius sign, 3 padas are in the Capricorn sign. So because this is also sun ruled nakshatra, so the accountability, the leadership of the sun energies will come in, but also because 3 padas are in the Capricorn sign, so a lot of diligence, a lot of hard work, a lot of application will also come in. So this is a person who will be very purposeful how they use their learning, and how they are able to use learning with a more visionary approach, with a more humanitarian approach, to be able to give back to society. And so because of the Capricorn energies also, these people are able to take a lot of pressure, and these people will also be very principled in their approach, how they will apply the learning rather than take shortcuts. However, again, because there are 1 pada is in Sagittarius and it's a sun ruled nakshatra, so these people can also be a little prone to flattery, and so they have to be mindful of that they should not be misled in how they are able to use the application of learning rather than taking it on the path where they started from. Now when the 9th house lord gets into the nakshatras ruled by Mercury, the Mercury ruled nakshatras have all the water sign energies, because each of the 4 padas of the Mercury ruled nakshatras are in the either Cancer sign or in the Scorpio sign or the Pisces sign. So when the 9th house lord gets into the nakshatra, for example Aslesha, where all 4 padas are in the Cancer sign, so here it brings about the intensity of the Aslesha nakshatra, but at the same time also the insightfulness, the nurturing, the caring, the empathetic approach of Cancer sign energies as well. And because this is a Mercury ruled nakshatra, so the person will also be very analytical, but at the same time will also be a little critiquing of others, and hence this is not easy energy to be able to use, because Aslesha is also one of those nakshatras which can also come under criticism of others, and also be somebody who can be a little secretive, and because of being secretive, others may also look at this person as being more devious. So usually these people have to contend with a lot of opposition to how they learn, how they are able to apply the learning, to be able to then use it responsibly, not only to be able to use their ability to gain goals that they set out to achieve, but at the same time how they will be able to apply the learning for greater good of mankind, because the 4 padas are in Cancer sign. So these people can also be very resourceful and will also have a very insightful approach to how they will be able to apply their learning. Now the Jyeshta nakshatra in which the 9th house lord gets placed, here all 4 padas of the Jyeshta nakshatra have the Scorpio sign energies, because all 4 padas are in the Scorpio side. So this is a person who on one side can be very protective, but on the other side can also have a certain degree of superiority complex in their own ability, and hence can also be a little rash and be impulsive in how they approach learning and apply the learning also in their day-to-day life, and also in their professional endeavors as well. And hence sometimes these people can also be somebody who is very focused on their work, very analytical, and going deep down to be able to get insightful understanding of the subject and then also apply. And hence many times these people can also have a very transformative approach towards learning and application also of learning. So they feel that if I am not able to change something, transform things of how I have learned, and then be able to apply it to other people's development, other people's advantage, then what is the point of learning? So this is a person who can also be self-critical also many times, and whether I'm doing things on the right front and whether I'm able to apply the learning well. And sometimes somebody who can be very, very trustworthy, while sometimes having to overcome a lot of brickbats to be able to then apply learning to the advantage and to the advantage of the society and to the industry in which they're working to achieve their professional ends. Now, if it is the Revati Nakshatra in which the 9th house lord gets placed, so Revati Nakshatra is a combination of the Mercury ruled nakshatra, because it's a Mercury ruled nakshatra, but on the same time the 4 padas are in the Pisces sign. So the watery energy also brings about a lot of creativity and a lot of optimism to how they use their learning. So this is a person who is very hopeful that what I learn I will be able to apply, and so they are very idealistic in the approach to the application of their knowledge. So when they're trying to imbibe knowledge also, they also have a certain idealistic mindset how the learning should be done, how they should approach high degree of learning, and then to be able to apply it also. So usually this person himself may be very responsible, very creative in how they approach learning, very soft-spoken, very sincere in how they deal with their gurus, how they deal with learning also. So usually these people are very principled in how they are able to utilize the learning to be able to put forth and give back to society as well. But because it is a Pisces ruled nakshatra, so many times they end up doing more out of their learning to others, and usually they are not able to get the financial gains as much, the material gains as much as they are able to do more for society through their learning, through their ability to apply their learning. So when the 9th house lord gets into Revati, extremely creative ability to be able to give back to society and an idealistic, optimistic approach, whereas there may be less that they themselves give. However, because it is Revati Nakshatra, over a period of time, big gains may still come to the person because the zodiac gives this back to these people. Now, when the 9th house lord gets into the Venus ruled nakshatras, where all the 4 padas are in the fire signs, so whether it's in Bharani or Purva Falguni or Purvashara nakshatra, each of these nakshatras have their 4 padas either in Aries or in Leo or Sagittarius sign. So when the 9th house lord gets into these nakshatras ruled by Venus, on one side the materialistic denotation will also come in, but the fiery resolve to be able to get results will also come in. So when the 9th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Bharani, so these people can be somebody who is very, very creative, extremely intelligent, but also very materialistic in how they should be able to use their learning, apply their learning also. So usually these people will come across as somebody who will persevere in how they are able to learn and use the learning, apply their learning, not only for their advantage but also to give back. Sometimes these people have to travel far away from the place of work, far away from the place of where they are born, to be able to get the learning, to be able to get the certification. However, these people can also become more lustful in how they get the learning, which means they will always look at, if I do this certification, if I do this degree, will I be able to get better results? And so over a period of time, these people may add 2 or 3 different qualifications or certifications to suit them also in the long run. Now, if it's the Purva Falguni Nakshatra in which the 9th house lord gets placed, here the Purva Falguni Nakshatras have all the 4 padas and the Leo sign. So this will combine the materialistic denotations of Venus, the good life that Venus wants to give, and the 4 padas being in Leo, which means a lot of leadership, a lot of authoritative approach to learning, a lot of authoritative approach to gains that they can get, a lot of authoritative and leadership, responsible approach to how they are able to not only get gains from their learning but also experiential learning, the societal learning, the situation learning that life will throw at them. So usually these people will be people who will be very honest in the approach to learning and will be very well groomed to how they are able to apply their learning to good use of others also. Usually these people may also try to get some certification, some qualification, if not in the engineering perspective or engineering approach, maybe even to the arts, or there may also be a little artistic denotation to what they want to learn and how they want to get those skills also. So these people are somebody who may on one end want to be somebody who may want to give back to society and at the same time get the materialistic gains that the Purva Falguni Nakshatra will give them. And so usually these people may also become a little indulgent how they are able to utilize their learning also. But at the same time, they are very accommodative of other people's thoughts also. So this is more like application of learning and a team environment, or bringing together everybody's notions of how the learning should be applied and then applying the learning for everybody's advantage. if they get some certification or they get attached to something in the arts, then these people can do very, very well, where they can learn an artistic skill and then be able to use it to not only their advantage but also turn out to be somebody who may be one of the best artists that society can give you. Now, if the 9th house lord gets into the nakshatra Purvashada, where all 4 padas are in the Sagittarius sign, so this is a person who may surely travel far away from the place of birth to get their learning, or these people may open up their mindset to where the learning is coming from, and they will not hesitate to whichever avenue they may get the learning from, but as long as the learning suits them, serve them, but they are also able to give back to society. And so usually these people may have learning avenues from a variety of sources: books, internet, through blogs, through the educational universities, from gurus, from mentors. So these people will not hesitate to get learning from any avenue as long as they know that this will serve them, and they are very open-minded to how they can apply the learning. So usually they will avoid being confrontational as long as it is serving their purpose. But if they push to the wall where they don't know how their learning can be useful for society, for the profession that they're working, then they don't mind even going to war to stand by what their learning is, stand by what they understand, how the learning should be applied. So usually these people are also somebody who will be very honest in giving the opinion, somebody who also can come across a little adamant. But because of the adamance also, they get very good gains over a period of time, because the 9th house is also a house of strong gains built over a period of time. So these people over a period of time with their learning, open mind, expansive mindset, will also do better than many of the nakshatras in which the 9th house can be placed. Now when the 9th house lord gets into the nakshatras ruled by moon, where all the 4 padas of the moon ruled nakshatras are lying in the earth sign, so whether it is the Rohini nakshatra or the Hasta or the Shravana nakshatra, each of these moon ruled nakshatras have 4 padas either in Taurus sign or Virgo sign or the Capricorn sign. When the 9th house lord gets into the moon ruled nakshatras having the earth sign energy, so these people are very, very detailed, very steady and very practical how they will be able to apply the learning or even accumulate their learning. So when the 9th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Rohini, where all 4 padas are in Taurus, so these people are extremely creative, extremely imaginative how to apply their learning. Firstly, how to learn. So these people, even in their ability to learn, will be very creative and will use different avenues to learn. At the same time, they are also very creative in applying their learning also. So usually these people will have a mix of the academic qualification also, but at the same time the creative energy to get the life's learning that they're getting to be able to apply the learning. And sometimes because of their brilliance, these people may also be able to do much better than the others, and sometimes because they are able to get better results than others, so these people may also put their foot down sometimes to state what they feel is correct, even at the expense of other people thinking that these people are maybe a little egoistic. But at the same time, these people can be somebody who are very creative in their efforts, very creative, very investigative of how they use their learning and apply that not only for their materialistic result that they get out of the learning, but also how at a societal level also they can give back to others. So usually these people will be looking at the minor details of their learning and be able to bring about a more perfectionist approach, but a steady approach how they use their learning. However, because it is the Rohini nakshatra, a huge amount of gains may come to them and good results built over a time because of being very creative and being able to put their thoughts across in a very charismatic way, in a very charming way, because of which very seldom can people say no to how they want to use their experiences, how they want to use their learning to be able to get better gains for all concerned and to the industry and in which they are working. Now, if the 9th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Hasta, where all 4 padas are in the Virgo sign, so here you are combining the energies of moon, the creativity, the empathy, the understanding orientation, but with the sincerity, the loyalty, the service orientation of Virgo, the perfectionist oriented energies of Virgo also. So this is a person when they want to learn, so they will be very creative, but at the same time they will be very sincere. They will have a lot of application to wanting to learn. So these people can keep their focus, especially if the 9th house lord is placed well in good houses as well. So then these people can focus a lot in their ability to learn, imbibe the subject, and these people can also be very quick learners also. And usually these people can be somebody who is very clever in how they are able to apply the learning because of the analytical ability of the Virgo sign energies also. And usually these people are also very pleasant to talk to, very pleasant to deal with, but at the same time very analytical also, very intellectual capability may come across from these people. So will be very persuasive how they apply the learning, and usually they will apply the learning to be healers, to be problem solvers as well, and somebody who will be more service orientation also. So usually these people will also be found in a service industry role even when they are getting their education qualification, and something which they can serve society over a long period of time can be found when the 9th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Hasta. When the 9th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Shravana, where all 4 padas are in the Capricorn sign. So here you combine the moon's empathy, understanding, nourishment, supportive energies with the Capricorn sign energies of being very diligent, very structured, very disciplined. And because this is the Shravana Nakshatra, this person will be very, very intelligent, will come across as a very, very learned person. However, at the same time, these people are very good listeners. They will not hesitate to be able to learn and imbibe from others, and in fact they yearn to learn from others. Sometimes they may also like to sit down in a solitude and then maybe going over the learning to see where they are able to apply this, where they will be able to use it better. And they will also look around to learn from life experiences also, the life situation that life may throw at them. And so they not only like to learn, but they also like to teach. So many times these people end up in those qualifications which may also come across as teachers, advisors, guides, consultants, or they may end up as gurus in the industry over a period of time. Very, very courageous to put their thoughts across, to put their learning across, don't believe in taking shortcuts, very, very honest, very, very liberal, and over a period of time they build a strong reputation because of their learning, because of their application, because of the experience as well. Now when the 9th house lord gets into the nakshatras ruled by Mars, where the 2 padas of the Mars ruled nakshatras are in the earth sign and 2 padas are in the air sign. So these people will combine a mix of their steadiness, practicality, but also the social, intellectual and relationship oriented approach of the air sign energies as well. So when the 9th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Mrigashira, where 2 padas are in the Taurus sign and 2 padas are in the Gemini sign, these people are somebody who are inquisitive by birth, and so these people are very restless when they're trying to learn and they're trying to imbibe knowledge. So sometimes these people can also lose focus in where they are able to get their learning from. So initial part of life they may be looking at what are the best avenues for me, what are the best degrees for me, what are the best qualifications that I can apply my learning from or get my education qualification from. So these people sometimes may go far and wide or may not hesitate to go to even foreign university to learn also. At the same time being very knowledge seeking, very investigative, so they want to go to the depths to be able to find what is the best qualification that they can get and what is the best learning that they can get, both because 2 padas are in Taurus to be able to get the material results also, and because 2 padas are in Gemini, very, very hard working. At the same time, these people may also pick up some qualification which is about more investigative in the approach. So investigative in finances, investigative in manufacturing, investigative in forestry, or something oriented to those things which are in solitude or those things in which others may not be able to delve easily. And usually these people are very good in communication, so very spontaneous, and how they are able to put across what they have learned or what their learning is, and how that learning can be used for better industrial growth and also for the better good of the masses as well. Usually very, very sincere, very, very enthusiastic learners, but also very humorous, and how they will be able to use their learning, life's experiences also, not only to be able to put across for the good of others, but in society as large. When the 9th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Chitra, so because these are Mars ruled nakshatras, so a lot of energy comes across with a lot of willpower, a lot of motivation. However, because 2 padas are in the Virgo sign, so a lot of service orientation, analytical orientation, perfectionist orientation, but 2 padas are in Libra, but also based on leadership, but also based on connections, relationships which they are able to build on. So with a lot of enthusiasm, willpower, being a Mars ruled nakshatra, but with the sincerity of the Virgo sign energies, and because it is the Chitra Nakshatra, so very, very passionate, very, very aggressive in how they want to apply the learning, but very, very dignified in their approach. And usually these people are people who can also be very organized in their effort to learn, very organized in how they will approach, how they can get different kinds of qualification, very passionate to learn, very passionate to apply their learning as well. And over a period of time, because they develop that strong ability and strong expertise, these people may also develop a strong ego that they know better than the others. But extremely still very, very clever, very, very direct, very thoughtful in the approach to learning. If the 9th house lord gets into the nakshatra Dhanishta, while being ruled by Mars, but 2 padas are in the Capricorn sign, 2 padas are in the Aquarius sign. So these are people who are very, very dedicated, very committed, very organized in the effort to learn. But because 2 padas are in Aquarius sign, so very, very liberal, very expansive, very societal in the approach, very humanistic in the approach to how they can apply the learning. But because it is the Dhanishta Nakshatra, these people are very adventurous also in where they can get their education qualification from, very adventurous in seeking different kinds of learning also, different kinds of qualification also, and they will not hesitate to go and travel far away and even move away from what their initial learning is. They may do education qualification in one, but certification in something else, and then may combine both the learning with a lot of sort of ambition to be able to get a lot of aggressively getting their goals being achieved. So these people can be somebody who can have a very strong financial approach towards their learning and can get into financial areas also, financial industries also, to be able to get the best result. Extremely practical, but at the same time very mindful of how their learning should be used, better used for society rather than society is wrong for. Now when the 9th house lord gets into the nakshatras ruled by Jupiter, where 3 padas are in the air sign and 1 pada is in the water sign. So the air sign energies of connections, relationship orientedness, societal orientedness, and being the smart intellectuals, at the same time the imaginative, nurturing, emotional perspective of the water sign energies will also get combined. So when the 9th house lord gets into the nakshatra Punarvasu, where 3 padas in the Gemini sign and 1 pada is in the Cancer sign, so these people are extremely good communicators. These people can also charm others in how they are able to communicate and influence people. But at the same time, 1 pada being in Cancer sign, so these people also have a very nurturing, very supportive orientation towards how they can first learn their subject and then apply their subject also. So these people will have a very strong intellectual capacity to be able to learn from different avenues, and being very good in communication also. These people can also be very nurturing in the approach to how they imbibe the learning and then apply to learning also. So usually these people can also bring about a certain renewal to the industry also, because of how they are able to put their thought process, the intellectual capacity to bring about a change in how to work, how to apply different applications, different approaches to the industry, and to be able to do things differently than before also. So usually people who are very eager to serve will be ready to overcome a lot of difficulties to be able to first learn, then to be able to apply the learning. And so gains get over, and because the 9th house is the house of gains, so gains come over a period of time because of the ability to influence others, charm others, but also a very supportive, supporting and empathetic oriented approach to people and to application of their learning. When the 9th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Vishaka, with 3 padas are in the Libra sign and 1 pada is in the Scorpio sign. So these people are very, very sharp in how they will be able to imbibe learning, and they are very keen to learn different subjects. So firstly, they will be very sharp in how they are able to pick out which subjects to learn, which area to approach in terms of being able to pick up their education qualification, their academic qualification, but also how they will be able to apply that. So very, very ambitious, where to learn, what kind of universities to learn from, and then to be able to apply the learning. So these people are very, very achievement oriented. They also want the best grades in their schools and colleges, but also good grades in application of the learning. So when they join organization, they also want to be one upon tops over others. However, they are very patient in how they are able to apply their learning, and will also be ready to learn from others. But if they feel that their learning is not being utilized properly, the experience is not being utilized properly, then they may also one day be able not to suppress their anger. They may also be able to come out as more corrosive energy, very aggressive energy as well. When the 9th house lord gets into the nakshatra Purva Bhadrapada, where 3 padas are in Aquarius sign and 1 pada is in the Pisces sign. So this is an energy of a lot of societal oriented approach towards learning, very intellectual approach to what they should be able to learn, what is in the news right now, what is contemporary now, what is current right now, and then be able to imbibe the learning and then to be able to get that qualification going. And because 1 pada is in Pisces sign, so these people are also very optimistic that not only will I be able to learn, but I will also be able to apply my learning to be able to do better good for others. So very, very passionate in how they are able to approach learning, but at the same time very cynical that whether I will be able to apply the learning to the effect that I want. So sometimes these people may also come across as being more coercive in at work, or how they are able to come across as people who can be good in teamwork also because of their coercive energy also. And sometimes they are very principled that this is the way it should be done, this is what I have learned, so this is how it should be applied. But at the same time, because being very, very logical, they may also come across as being very opinionated also. But at the same time, they may not come across as being very practical to how to work in a team also. So overall, good gains can come over a period of time if they know how to be able to lead and be able to deal with teams while they are able to apply their learning in a very passionate and in a very resilient oriented approach. Now when the 9th house lord gets into the nakshatras ruled by Saturn, where all the 3 nakshatras ruled by Saturn have all the 4 padas of each of the nakshatras in the water sign. So whether it's Pushya or Anuradha or the Uttara Bhadrapada nakshatra, each one of them will have the 4 padas either in Cancer sign or Scorpio sign or the Pisces sign. So because of being the Saturn ruled nakshatras, so the diligence, the organized effort, the hard work will also come in, but in the water sign energies of being very imaginative, nurturing, emotional also come in. So when the 9th house lord gets into the nakshatra Pushya, where all 4 padas are in Cancer, these are the people who are very caring, very nurturing, very supportive of others. And so usually when they also learn, they want to use that learning to be able to do good for others. So even in choosing their qualification, they will always have a service orientation. What can I do to be able to change society? What can I do to nurture people? What can I do to be able to do better for others, where everybody can have a prosperous life as well? So when they're getting their certification, their qualification, and when they're trying to apply the learning, even in the organization that they work, they may come across as people who will be very caring, very nurturing, and will put in a lot of high effort to be able to give back to society, especially what they have imbibed also from their experiential learning also. Usually very, very independent in their approach, very service oriented in their approach, but be very, very self-sufficient, and usually they don't depend too much on others. Because of their sincerity, these people will also be able to get good results over a period of time. These people can be very, very strong in team building. Working in teams may also come across as the most caring people who people can have as employees, can have as colleagues as well. So people who may be able to make a lot of gains over a period of time through not only their caring, nurturing perspective, but also high effort and high sincerity, service orientation, because of the Pushya rule nakshatra. Now when the 9th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Anuradha, where all 4 padas are in the Scorpio sign, so these people will want to learn those subjects which will be very path breaking, which will also bring out those elements to the subject or to the industry which may have not been earlier delved into and not have been surfaced also. So these people will also put in a lot of effort to be able to have a very logical, very reasoning approach to learning itself, and will not hesitate to go far distance and pick out those learnings, those certifications which may be more path breaking or new also to others, also new to the industry also. But at the same time, these people are also ones who want to create harmony, because it being the Anuradha nakshatra and because of the Saturn energies, these people will also work hard in a very organized way. And these people also can be very, very good managers, very good administrators as well, having a lot of devotion to studies, having a lot of devotion to application of the learning also. So these people also love a lot of variety. So they may get different types of qualification, different kinds of certifications also in different subjects, then to be able to apply the learning also. Very fun loving, they also want the learning to be fun, they also want the experiential learning to be fun, and being very, very warm, very, very kind hearted, these people will also be able to get good results whichever industry they are working in, whichever organization they are working in, because of their ability to be able to be more reasoning, more logical also, but at the same time to be also very supportive and very balanced and popular also in the approach to others. Now, if the 9th house lord gets into the nakshatra Uttarabhadra Pada, where all the 4 padas are in the Pisces sign, now this is a person who has a lot of strong organized approach to learning, organized approach to the ability to be able to use the experiential learning, situational learning also, but at the same time very optimistic. So these people feel if I work hard, I will be able to get very good results. So these people somebody who can be very, very adaptable. So in different kinds of situation, they will adapt themselves very, very strongly, very, very skillfully. But usually these people are also very cheerful and sometimes even self-sacrificing for the team and for the department that they work in. Usually very intuitive about how they will be able to get the learning application to the industry that they are working in and for the betterment of the department also. However, these people also have to face a lot of delays because of being over optimistic and not getting the support from others, may end up doing more hard work that is required because of not getting enough support from others. So usually these people can also come across as somebody who may also be a little short-tempered when they don't get enough support from their team members while working in a team environment where the team support is not coming forth. Now, when the 9th house lord gets into the nakshatras ruled by Rahu, where all the 4 padas of the Rahu ruled nakshatras are in the air signs, so whether it's Ardra or Swati or Satabisha, each of the padas, 4 padas of these nakshatras all lie in the air signs of either Gemini, Libra or Aquarius. So when the 9th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Ardra ruled by Rahu, so yeah, this is a person who can be somebody who calculative in what learning they should be able to get, what should they choose, which will also get them good gains over a period of time. And because of 4 padas being in Gemini sign energy, these people will not hesitate to work hard, and usually they will be able to combine the calculative, the manipulative, the hunger oriented energies of Rahu, combining it with the communication, hard work oriented energies of Gemini also. So these people can also be people who will bring about a change to the industry that they're working, and these people can also be people who can be stubborn at times to how they will be able to apply the learning in their work also. So usually they'll combine their tactful energy and their very communication energies to be able to then be able to convince people. And so sometimes these people can also become very independent how they are able to apply the learning, and usually other people may also feel that these people can be a little changeable in the approach, and these people can also be thinking out of the box to be able to utilize the high intellectual capability along with the high energy to be able to influence others, to be able to bring about a big change in the industry. So these people can be people who are with the path breakers, and these people can also be the outliers and how industry can be changed with the energy built over a period of time. So the Ardra Nakshatra will bring about both a path breaking energy also, but at the same time an energy where the person has to work hard over a period of time, sometime over a lifetime, before excellent results will come to them, excellent gains can come to them, being a Rahu ruled nakshatra. Now if the 9th house lord gets into the nakshatra Swati, where all 4 padas are in the Libra sign, so these people can be extremely creative, extremely learning oriented, and can also have a more artistic approach to learning also. And especially because 4 padas are in the Libra sign, so these people are very, very conscious of their relationships also, their connections also. So usually these people may establish very strong relations with their gurus also, or if they find somebody can be a good mentor for them, then they will also be very dedicated, very committed to those people also to be able to learn their subject. Very restless in trying to get more new learning, being able to apply new learning, and they can be very adventurous of getting different kinds of certification also, but at the same time being very flexible how they approach, where they get their learning from, where they need to go, even travel far distance away from their place of birth to be able to get the learning that they acquire and then to be able to apply. So usually people who can be very creative, very artistic also, but at the same time very curious in their ways to approach learning and to be able to be very balanced in how not only can they learn but also apply the learning. Very, very social and want to give back socially to society. 4 padas lying in Libra sign energies to be able to build connections and then to be able to apply the learning. So at one end, being very intelligent, very tactful, very dedicated because of Rahu rule nakshatras, but also very social, societal, change-oriented people. These people through their strong resolve and their strong self-confidence can bring about a huge change in the industry where very few others of other nakshatras to be able to bring about. Now if the 9th house lord gets into the nakshatra Satabisha, where all 4 padas lies in the Aquarius sign. So this is a person who can be big visionary and somebody who can also be a healer par excellence if they are able to get the academic qualification which they want and the learning that they want, and at the same time apply the societal, the experiential learning that they get. So usually such people can be very highly intellectual, very, very adaptable also, but they have a very humanistic approach to learning, and usually they will also bring about some societal awakening, and through their ability to be able to use the learning to be able to awaken others also. And so usually these people will also initially face setbacks in how they are able to learn, what educational university they may get their learning from, and then be able to apply that. So sometimes these people may also have challenging relationship with their gurus also, with mentors also, because they may come across as being little opinionated also. But if they are able to combine the relationship oriented energies of the Aquarius sign, at the same time being able to use the intellectual capability and the healing ability and the problem solving ability of Satabisha, then these people can be the healers par excellence, and people who can be very spiritual also, and how they are able to bring about a change in society at a mass level as well. Now when the 9th house lord gets into the nakshatras ruled by Ketu, where all the 4 padas of either Ashwini or Magha or Mula lie in the fire signs of either Aries or Leo or Sagittarius. So when the 9th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Ashwini, where all 4 padas are in the Aries sign, so this is a person who is very, very dynamic, very result oriented, very action oriented, and how to apply the learning for societal gains and for also their own materialistic gains. So when they choose an educational qualification, the one thought in their mind is also, how will I be able to apply the learning to be able to solve problems of others, to be able to do more for others, to give back to society also. So usually these people will be very faithful to their learning and how they are able to apply the learning, and they will be very dynamic and will be very creative in how they are able to apply the learning also. So usually these people will be very adventurous. Firstly, how they pick which qualifications to do, what different kinds of certifications to do, but at the same time they will also be very steady in how they are able to use that for problem solving for others. So usually these people, because of 4 padas being in Aries sign, they will be very strongly goal oriented. So they will choose that learning which they will be able to apply over a long period of time, to be able to get good gains, not only for themselves but also to be able to bring about a change in society, bring about a change for the industry also. So usually these people are very hardworking, very diligent in when they are sitting down to work, in applying their learning, and how they will also be able to learn from their experiences also. While even at work, they will be able to imbibe learning and then bring about using that for change in the industry, bring about a change in the department, and also how they are able to apply that learning for more professional gains as well. Now if the 9th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Magha, where all 4 padas lie in the Leo sign, so this is a person who has a very strong belief in their learning, and these people believe that if I am able to first of all get a learning which I think can give back to society, and I think I will be able to use to be able to do more for others, then I will also be able to bring about a strong change, how people will be able to work, and how I will be able to bring about a responsive change in people's ability to be able to gain more from life itself, more from the industry itself. So usually these people start up in a very ambitious manner. What is the learning I should get? What is the education qualification that I should be able to take? And they will take a lot of pride in their learning. So they will not do any qualification just for the sake of it. They will also want to do something which they can also talk with a lot of pride to others. Okay, I'm doing this particular course, I'm doing this particular certification, and I'm doing it from this university. And they will also choose their mentors, they will also choose their gurus very carefully also. And usually because they are very successful, what kind of certification they are able to do, what kind of qualification they are able to do, and what kind of learning they are able to bring about better than the others. So these people may also come across as very strongly opinionated, and hence sometimes also may come across as people having a superiority complex, even arrogance. But because these people are also very respectful of other people's ability, especially if other people are also very learned, so if they are given a strong team, equal team, then these people can also be very, very good team workers to be able to bring about a strong change in the industry, also strong change in how the department works also. So overall, very free spirited in how they are able to apply learning, where they are able to get their learning, and how over a period of time, with their strong beliefs and strong respect towards the industry, respect towards their gurus, respect towards their learning, also being able to get huge gains built over a period of time. When the 9th house lord gets into nakshatra Mula, where all 4 padas are in the Sagittarius sign, so this is a person who wants to get deep down into understanding from the deepest levels whatever they are learning. So if they are learning medicine, they want to go deep down and understand every avenue of medicine, every avenue of how the human body works, for example. If they're getting into the pharmaceutical industry, then they may want to get down into at a deeper level how the different structures of the organic chemicals are. They want to get down to the deepest level of doing research to be able to come out something with something new, something path breaking, for example in medicine. So these are the people who will firstly want to imbibe different kinds of learning from different avenues, and they will also bring about a very creative approach because of being Mula Nakshatra, or going down to the bottom and then being able to extricate information. So when these people learn, they will not only have learning from different avenues, different kinds of certification, but they will also not hesitate to approach different kinds of mentors, different kinds of gurus to be able to imbibe highest learning from them. Usually very calm in how they approach learning, how they approach their gurus, how they are able to apply their skills also. But at the same time, some people who will also be very pushy if they think that their ability to be able to use the learning is not being helped. So sometimes these people can also change 1 or 2 different jobs before they are able to rise overall over a period of time to be able to get the best gain. Sometimes these people may be seen as down in the dumps, only to rise like a phoenix from the ashes and to be able to bring about a huge path breaking change to the industry that they are working, and through that being somebody who can even leave a strong legacy behind in the industry, in the work that they do. So friends, now that we have discussed how the 9th house lord in different nakshatras will bring about different denotation, different manifestation, different results, see where your 9th house is placed in which nakshatra, whether it is getting into a conjunction with different houses, house lords, or different planets, or in different doshas or yogas, because that will also bring in their own flavors. So friends, like this video, share this video, and if you're looking for a personal consultation for me, please reach out to me, the link given below. Until some other time, with some other video, this is your friend astrologer and guide Irfan signing off. Ciao.